Salutations, utopians. Hope all is well in your world. TGIF, for those unfamiliar with that term, thank goodness it's Friday. For those whose Monday this is, or whoever schedules a little bit off the universe, hang in there, champ. Speaking of champ, wanted to talk a little bit about the Los Angeles Lakers groundbreaking news that everyone had been anticipating. Uh, Darvin Ham, uh, after many rumblings throughout the year, uh, the cat is out the bag. He's been relieved of his duties today. Um, we must start off. He was hired in June of 2022, and in that time, Darvin has amassed a record 90 and 74. 90 wins, 74 losses with a Western Conference Finals appearance. And I'm a little bit appalled um, by the fans of Los Angeles, by the fans of the Lakers, just for the simple fact that how do we lose track? How do we lose sight? How do we lose track of the fact that Frank Vogel won a championship in the bubble, doesn't get credit. It's all LeBron. This is for Kobe, all that stuff. 2 years later, Vogel gets fired. You see him in Phoenix losing grip, and we don't see a correlation. Phoenix, LA. The common denominator is we have aging superstars who are having difficulty understanding the reality that their time is passing and have a very sophisticated, nuanced type of roster required in order to get what they want the most, which is a championship. And so it's appalling that watching him being scapegoated this way, Darvin Ham, that is, because ultimately at the end of the day, this is an aging team, and they were not properly equipped. Anthony Davis is playing out of position. I alluded to Kobe earlier in the bubble ring. Let's talk about his agent, Rob Pelinka, who's still really the guy who needs to be on the hot seat, because when Magic left the Lakers, people made it seem like he abandoned LeBron. No, he was abandoning this front office and this ownership group that were really trying to battle him over Luke Walton. And what did Magic do? I don't want no part of it. Magic is still actively recruiting on behalf of the Lakers, free agents. He just said, I'll do it my way. Since then, he's gone over and got into an ownership group with the Washington Commanders. Since then, the Lakers are now on their third coach. I don't know. Maybe the Lakers should have listened to Magic. Mr. Pelinka goes and gets Jackson Hayes, former center from the University of Texas, raw specimen, weighs about 210. He's from the same kind of area where LeBron is from in Ohio, so they thought it would be a good fit. You go sign Prince. You give Hachimura, Reeves, and D'Lo about $50 million each, which were all bargain deals. D'Lo especially stands to make a lot of money this summer, I think. He's, regardless of what's going on, a team like the Magic should offer him a pot. And whatever pay cut he took, he'll make up for in state tax-free money in Orlando. They need him. He covers the floor general need they need. He covers the three-point shooting need, and he'll be able to go back to his Brooklyn Nets role. Speaking of Brooklyn Nets and his time with them, Kenny Atkins is rumored to be one of the sole coaches that they're going to be interested in. Mike Budenholzer, and then J.J. Redick, whom kudos to Rashad McCants, who broke the story. Crazy that ESPN has this guy on payroll, and Rashad McCants is the one breaking the story. All ESPN said was, oh, the Hornets interviewed him. And I find it very telling the only two places that are interested in J.J. Redick are two teams that are hopeless. The Lakers and the Hornets are the only teams that interviewed him. I mean, are the only teams that are being considered right now as we speak, as far as we know. Now, I know he interviewed with Toronto last year, but we see where they are. Rebuild. Dramatic rebuild. The Hornets are a team that I can't remember a time in my existence since maybe Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning in the 90s, back when the starter jackets were popping. I don't remember a time where anyone looked at them and thought they were championship contenders. And the Lakers, on their third coach, now are resorting to a podcaster because that really is the best guy for the job. He's done TV, he's played in championship games, he's played the game. He's good friends with the star player who you have to have because financially, your owner is the poorest owner in the NBA, going against the richest. Steve Ballmer, according to Colin Cowherd, net worth is worth more than 27 GMs in the NBA combined. This ain't even David versus Goliath, okay, at that point. So you go look, they're riding the coattails of Pelinka now. You trust Pelinka more than you trust, because the funny thing is, Pelinka got hired around the same time New York Knicks president and super sports agent Leon Rose of CAA, who gave LeBron his big break, went into office for the Knicks. But the difference is, Leon Rose had a guy named Scott Perry who did the demolition job before he got in there, who created the pieces that were worthy of being moved in order to create the cap, in order to acquire the OG Anunobis from Toronto and the Precious Achua, who did a wonderful job spelling Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle this year. Lakers went and did the same thing. Oh, let's get a sports agent who's integrated vertically in the culture. This is Kobe's old agent. There they go, knocking on old doors. And guess what? What did he do this year in last year's draft? 23 draft? You take Jay Hood Schifino, who had a 13-5-4 average at Indiana, no shooting ability. You do a Hood Schifino when you're starting from scratch, trying to hit the lottery. That's a pick you make after LeBron leaves. Why would you go get a primary ball handler who can't shoot? He's starting off, his ceiling is second unit. They passed on Jaime Jaquez, who's been one of the lone bright spots for Miami this year, as they've gone through so many different pieces in their lineups due to suspension and injuries, etc. The Golden State Warriors managed to get two players, Tracy Jackson in the second round and Pozdemski after the Hood Schifino pick. Cam Whitmore went to the Houston Rockets. His per 36 is ranked in the top 10 all time. Imani Bates, wonderful summer league, didn't get had his moments this year with Cleveland. But the crazy thing about Bates was, imagine him at the two guard spot, letting it flame, not hesitating. That guy's a bucket. You could have went with Bates even, who won MVP of the Summer League. Don't get me started. Well, what's he doing with the Cavs? Well, ask why USC's Okogie's not getting no burn for the Cavs either. Versatile, athletic, 6'8", 6'9" hybrid. You watching Xavier Alexander, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, Nikhil Alexander-Walker. I don't know why Okogie ain't getting no burn, but that's not my business. A lot of funny lineups in the playoffs. I'm not going to get into it too much. Rob Pelinka needs to be put on the hot seat. You couldn't even go get you couldn't sign a Frank Kaminsky out of free agency. You couldn't figure out how to land a Kelly Olynyk, so you wouldn't have to subject Anthony Davis to the punishment of being in the paint. This Laker team is in big trouble. You guys are celebrating, but Darvin Ham took a job he didn't want. Magic has gone on to own be the first black owner of a football team, regardless if it's minority stake. It's all right. What I was about to say something. I'm about to say something crazy right now. I'm gonna stop about this ownership group. Though I think JJ is the perfect candidate. Who cares if he doesn't have coaching experience? He's being, like Rashad McCann said, that podcast, I knew it. It was something very odd. I'm like, of all people, That's who he's doing the podcast with. But he already interviewed with Toronto, so he got the cosign from one of the best GMs in the business, top three. Masai Ujiri is up there with Sam Presti. Whoever you want else to put, I think it's Sam Presti and Masai Ujiri, since Jerry West now is stepping into the shadows. And they were interviewing him. So that was a cosign he needed, but it wasn't his cycle. This year, now Charlotte's there. I don't think he's good for Charlotte. I think they're a little bit too young, too flashy of a team right now. They're not ready for him yet. He needs to be on a team that's serious with high stakes and can kind of, just to get the ball rolling. But he can be a star like Ty Lue, who also is rumored. I don't understand where that's coming from. I don't know why would the Clippers fire Ty Lue? You know, you give him two players who are on their way out of the league in Russell Westbrook and James Harden. He managed before the injuries, post trade deadline, they were on path looking like an NBA Finals perennial contender. Those injuries slowed them up. They were playing the best ball. They were off already before they got Harden. Then they got Harden, had to regroup. They got on the right foot again, got injured, lost their rhythm again. Ty Lue's done a phenomenal job. I don't know why his name is being mentioned with the Lakers. They didn't want to give him his 5th-year deal when they tried to bring him in the first time when LeBron first got there. He said, I want 5 years. They said no. What changed? So he's good enough now to be given a 5th year, but but the Clippers want to fire him? That doesn't make sense. I like Mike Budenholzer, but a guy that decorated and established, he doesn't deserve to be subjected to that environment. You know what I mean? Your reputation can get destroyed being around Bron. Then when you factor in the Bronny situation, and he wants Bronny, and I'm going to tell you something about Bronny. What people are underestimating about his draft stock, LeBron being the number one free agent, the problem is we've seen guys like Russ, D'Lo, look like a shadow of themselves. At this point, it's about finding who can get along and play next to LeBron and be comfortable. We've seen careers dwindle. Let's keep it real. So maybe he's got a little bit more value because who better than his son to be able to know how to play next to his pops? His stock is very important. I don't know a veteran coach like Mike Budenholzer or a Kenny Atkinson who showed that he can rebuild a franchise can look at another franchise that looks crazy right now. You broke that team up you fired him for Kyrie and KD, and neither one are there anymore. D'Lo is choking in the playoffs. He looks like a god right now. So JJ's the best candidate for the job despite not having coaching experience. But let's not get twisted here. Y'all dancing on this man's grave like this, Darvin Ham, and it's not warranted. He's a respectable dude. He did a great job considering the circumstance, and it's not fair to him. He never was going to stand a chance. He took that job because nobody wanted it. And this is further proof of why people shouldn't want it, because why are people celebrating him getting fired when he already took something that nobody wanted? He was always a filler. It makes no sense. All right, utopians, I'll try to do better next time. Global, out.